The government wants to scan your face. It's not waiting for permission. The USDHS is building a surveillance system vast enough to identify anyone on any street and is doing so without a legal framework to govern when, why, or whether it should. This is the starting point of the collapse. We aren't talking about a future threat. We are talking about the Department of Homeland Security bypassing the legal system entirely. They are building the infrastructure to identify you anywhere, at any time, without a single law in place to tell them no. For a tech-focused audience, this is the definition of a black box operation. This makes my blood boil. It is the height of government arrogance to build a digital dragnet first and ask for permission never. They are treating the entire public like suspects in a lineup before we even walk out our front doors. It's invasive, it's lawless, and it's a total betrayal of privacy. How can a democracy function when the surveillance state operates entirely outside of a legal framework? Let me know in the comments if you think there's any way to opt out of this. California law forces age tracking into every operating system by 2027. In a different timeline, wiring an age surveillance layer into the boot sequence of every computing device in California is an idea that would have died in committee. Now we see how that surveillance reaches your home. This isn't just a website pop-up. They are talking about the boot sequence. That means the very first thing your computer does when it wakes up, before it even loads your desktop, is check your identity and age status. It is a mandatory surveillance layer baked into the hardware's soul. The fact that this didn't die in committee is a terrifying signal of where our regulators' heads are at. They are literally wiring a snitch into the motherboard. It feels like we are living in a dystopian timeline where your own PC is a double agent working for the state. If your computer checks your age status at the boot level, do you even really own that hardware anymore? Or is it just a government terminal you're renting? California wants to build a surveillance layer into every device its residents touch. Assembly Bill 1043, signed by Governor Gavin Newsom and taking effect January 1st, 2027, requires every operating system provider to collect age information from users at account setup and broadcast that data to app developers through a real-time API. Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, Linux distributions, Valve's SteamOS, if it runs an operating system, it's covered by this overreaching law. This is the technical death blow. Look at that list. Windows, Linux, even SteamOS. This law forces an age API into your system. Every time you open an app, your operating system broadcasts your data to that developer in real time. There is no escaping it. If it has a screen and an OS, it is now a tracking device by law. Including Linux and SteamOS is a direct attack on the last bastions of privacy. They are turning the open source dream into a monitored nightmare. It is overreaching, it is disgusting, and it turns every account setup into a digital interrogation. To my Linux users out there, how is a decentralized kernel supposed to comply with a real-time API mandate without destroying its own integrity? Let's hope idiot CEO syndrome plays its usual role and tanks any of the benefactors behind this law. If social media and computers become obnoxious to use due to mass surveillance and sense of fear, people are going to stop using them. The whole reason it's so normalized is because almost everything is free and unbinding. But if the computer starts asking for requirements of the person, locks us into age verification, and then starts to strip us of control, people are going to go out of their ways to not use computers anymore. They're obviously doing this to farm data for AI. This user hits the nail on the head. The free ride is over. The goal isn't safety, it's data farming for AI models. By forcing age verification and stripping away control, these companies are making computers obnoxious to the point where the only people left using them will be the ones who don't mind being farmed. I feel that sense of fear Linkensky is talking about. It's an exhausting, overstimulated nightmare where you're constantly being asked to verify your existence just to check an email. It's insulting. We are being treated like cattle for AI training data, and they're using age safety as the fence to keep us in the pen. Is there a breaking point for you? At what point do you put the laptop in a drawer and just walk away because the requirements to use it have become too high?